It's happening, guys. I got a new camera and I think it's time to start revamping this YouTube channel. I feel like, I got the Instagram and the TikTok all down, but the YouTube needs a little revamping, and I'm really excited to see the types of videos that I create with this new camera that I have. And I think the first thing that I should do is a book tour. Look at all these books. And I don't even think that's all of them, but I definitely have collected these throughout the years, and I'm still missing some, and I kind of wish that I can find them somewhere in my garage. But in no particular order, let's just get started. This is Calculus 3rd edition by Strauss. This is obviously a very good calculus book for any first-time calculus student or any seasoned calculus student that kind of want to get their hands nice and dirty in some calculus. Highly recommend this book. I don't know where I got it, but I've had it for many, many years. This is a new algebra. This was actually given to me by a friend as a wedding present. And it just has a lot of different problems, and it's actually a pretty good read. He left a nice little note on here, and it's, again, pretty old, and I like to keep it kind of hidden. I don't really like to open this too much just because, the pages can rip. I got Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy by Isaac Newton, and I think it's just a translation of a lot of his works. And I haven't really dived into this yet, but I think it has, when I first started reading it in the very beginning, I just noticed that it has like some very good illustrations, and it's just a heavy read. So, I don't know how long this will take, but it's just kind of nice to have this in your bookshelf. Here is elliptic curves, modular forms, and their L functions. Honestly, I've gotten through maybe the first 50 pages of these, and it's a heavy read for me, at least. This is by Alvaro. I don't know, where's, right here, Alvaro. If you guys are on TikTok or familiar with him on Instagram, definitely check him out. He is one of the go-to guys or go-to mathematicians out there on social media. Thank you, Alvaro. This is a practical mathematics, and this is basically, I actually don't even know where I got this, but obviously, as you can tell, it's a pretty old book, but it has a lot of practice problems, especially for engineering students. I think I got this because I had majored in engineering in college, and I think someone gave this to me. I'm not sure. There's physics. I actually stole this from my physics teacher in high school, so if she's watching, I'm so sorry. But a perfect book to have as a physics student. I believe this has kinematics, it has fluids, and I think some electricity. I can't quite remember. I never got to this part, but we just did the kinematics portion. But anyway, good book to have. I recently bought this one because I had lost my copy of it from college, and I just kind of wanted to, take a couple hours to just kind of study this again, just because I feel like it was extremely interesting when I studied it at the time, and I feel like it's a topic that a lot of people like to discuss now that I talk about math on Instagram. This linear algebra book I used to have in college, but I lost it, so I basically just ended up buying a new copy just to have it in my bookshelf. I mean, this is a full course. If you're learning about linear algebra, I think this is a really good one. I actually used to have a professor who said, throw your algebra book away or your linear algebra book away because the notes are going to be just enough. And I kind of wish I can find that notebook because it basically had a full book, all the topics in a book that you can read in a notebook, and I think his notes were a lot better. There's complex analysis. I got this on Amazon, and this is Terrence Murphy. He wrote this book, and for the price, I think it's really, really good. If you're just starting to get into complex analysis, I think this is a great starter book, and it has, all the terminologies, all the theorems, not as many practice problems as I wish, but overall a good book to have when you want to reference anything complex analysis. I haven't really opened or dived into this book, but I bought it because I just thought maybe I can even, create some videos on physics and calculus. So a physics study guide workbook. So this will go alongside with my physics book, but I'm really excited to see what all this is about. I got this one from Hussein. He actually promoted this on his Instagram account, and it has thousands of integrals, and he goes over all the answers And this was extremely useful. I love reading these because sometimes I see some interesting integrals that I think are worth solving. And yeah, just seeing Hussein's work with all of his all the integrals that he has here, I mean, it's so impressive. So if you wanted to check it out, I believe he has more books on here, but I highly recommend this one. There's mathematics for GEE main, and I don't know if it's GEE or JEE or G. But anyway, I bought this just because a lot of people have mentioned that I should probably be looking into these books, or if I can review them on Instagram or on TikTok. But I really wanted to just buy this and get an idea for the types of questions that are on these exams. And overall, I mean, I think it's extremely interesting. Definitely higher level maths than the US, but it's definitely manageable. Yeah, this is a fun book. I'll talk about, well, actually, this is Book of Integrals. I really wanted to put this into this whole bunch of books here just because I feel like it deserves to be part of the group here. Book of Integrals that I wrote almost like 2 months ago, and it just has different techniques and different integrals that you might encounter out in the wild, and definitely worth a read in my opinion. Here's my Calc 3 book. Actually, I'll talk about this one last because this was the book that I basically grew up with. This was a book that I used in high school, and it's been extremely useful to reference. And I remember taking a quiz on the DISC method, or we were doing volumes of solids, and I failed miserably. And I told my teacher at the time, hey, what's a good book, or what are some practice problems that I can do, because I never want to get any of these things wrong ever. And he said, here's a whole book, take it with you, have fun. So he gifted me this book, and I've cherished it ever since. So another calculus book. I believe this covers, you know, the same sections, but in my opinion, I have 1, 2, 3, and I have another one upstairs. But I think it's always good to have, even if it's the same course, every single book definitely describes, you know, the calculus differently, and that's how you learn. And I really enjoy reading basically the same section in every single book and just explaining it differently, and I think you get a better sense of how the problems would work. And then here's the last one. This is basically Calc 3. So I mentioned this is Calc 1 and 2, so is this one. And this one up here is basically Calc 3. So it's part of a much bigger book. By the way, this is Calculus by James Stewart. And it starts in, as you can see, in chapter 10. So the first 10 chapters are basically Calc 1 and Calc 2. And then you get this book for Calculus 3. And I believe that's all my books for now. And there you have it. So if you feel like you enjoyed the types of books, let me know in the comments. Or if you want to recommend a type of book that I should have in my bookshelf, let me know as well. But that's all I have for today. So if you have ideas of the types of videos or the type of content that you want to see on here, let me know. But I definitely have a lot of things in the works, and I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully I post a video every week, and I'll see you on the next one.